5, 4, 3. Hey everybody, it's your girl Key to the City. I'm here with DJ Bugsy and Jay Bridge.
What up, world?
And you're officially tuned in to Philly's #1 station, giving you the best on what's trending, celebrities, the community, the hip hop life, R&B, my personal life, Jay's sex life. That's a lot of what we talked about. But thank you so much for tuning in. Today's a good day. It's a cold day, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
How was your week?
My week was, I go to the plantation every day. Don't get too much of the cotton, but it was good. I've been listening to the news and I've been watching DJ Bugsy's Instagram, and everybody's talking about the whole Nicki Minaj thing and the Malcolm X artwork. And I just been wanting to know, like, what everybody think about that. Like, that's been all.
Does anybody know where it originated from?
Yeah, isn't it from the? Wait, let me recheck that. No, so we'll take my answer.
You remember? Do you know where it came from?
Where
the artwork came from?
Oh, from Jet Magazine. Isn't it? Was it a story published in Jet Magazine?
Someone else's cover. You know? I'm glad you don't know, because I have a picture if you need it.
Hold on, Nicki Minaj's artwork came from somebody else's artwork? Because I know Kara's one, all of them.
Exactly.
But Kara's one and Talib Kweli, they've all they've done it as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't Malcolm on the cover.
Yeah, it was them, but it was a picture of.
It was the same kind of picture.
Yeah.
They just used their stuff.
Yeah, they used their stuff.
Right.
But that picture was used in an article on Jet Magazine they did of Malcolm X. That's where that picture originated from, an article in Jet Magazine. And how she got the picture, she said, I guess she was on the set and that picture was there. And that's when it all transpired or whatever. But do y'all think it was disrespectful because it's Black History Month? Or is it disrespectful just across the board?
Across the board.
Okay.
I'm just shrugging my shoulders because I feel like we're in those 28 days where everybody's extra sensitive about issues. I don't necessarily see what the big deal is.
I'm saying beyond Black History Month isn't just a disrespectful picture. Like beyond Black History Month.
It was disrespectful.
So
is it disrespectful that she did it and not?
I think if anybody was, because my thing was, were you trying to cause controversy? Like, where was the picture coming from? If the picture's to promote your new song, that looks bad. If the picture wasn't just to say, hey, let's talk about something, that's not what you were doing it for. It was to promote your new music. So it doesn't make any sense.
I think the picture did exactly what she wanted to do.
So why would you take it? I think that why apologize and take it down?
Well, I think that because it caused so much negative feedback. I think. You know what I mean? So the same with Miley Cyrus. Like when she said she was out with Justin Timberlake, you looked a mess. A hot mess. Why'd you do it?
What she do with Justin Timberlake?
Remember they had that performance? And
they were
asking.
The TV Awards?
Oh, was that Robert Thicke?
Yes.
The Beetlejuice food?
Yes. We all looking like it times up there.
Yes, Robert Thicke.
Oh. Like we could have told me that wasn't Justin Timberlake. In my mind, it was Justin Timberlake. I'm thinking Robert Thicke. But you know when she said it, she said just because it keeps her name in people's mouths.
But I think those are two different things. I think those are two total different levels. And because I get Miley's part, but I just don't get it. I feel like if you have enough clout and enough things to hold, you don't have to do stuff like that to do that. So that's where I just got confused at. I felt like she could probably use something else, or she just came up with a song.
Well, I do know that you can't really. I don't know, I guess when you put something out, just like how Beyonce has said it, you can't put it out based on how everyone else will react.
True.
You know what I mean? Because everybody, no matter what you do, I think that if it was something else, people would have an opinion about it too.
That's true. All right, let's think about it. So what do you think about the guy, the guilty verdict? What was his name? Jordan Dunn?
The Loud Music?
Yes. I can't think of the guy's last name now. We got him was guilty on all charges. That was good, because he was doing the whole stand your ground. And he was trying to say that they had a weapon in their car, but how would you know if you were in your car?
Right.
And then you would get, so I'm glad he was found guilty because first it was saying he was on a walk.
Right.
And I couldn't see that.
Yeah, well, no, you know what? I think how the story, at least how I read it, is that they were together on 4 out of 5 counts.
Yeah.
But that 5th count, they could consider that a mistrial. Only that one count, not the entire case. So the other 4, he was like dead over that.
Yeah.
Right.
Today's young boy's birthday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, today's his birthday. So that's, I think Trayvon, my birthday was like February 5th. Beginning of this month. So I don't think he was going to walk on there. It's like, you know what, we already had it happen. somebody gotta go down there. Somebody.
Honey, I can see a riot.
Yes. You want to walk again? Oh, it's on now. You can shoot the
I
judge.
just think
At
that
least
state
that is
round
on that.
rule is horrible. It's just so horrible. I don't agree with nothing about it from A to Z. I think it's horrible.
It is. Well, you know what? I think how they word things or do things is tricky too, because even in Pennsylvania, I've seen cases where if someone came to rob you, and let's say they beat you up, you just so happen to have a gun, they take your money and run away, you shoot them. Alright, you can get time for that. I've seen it happen. But no why? You shot them in the back. You can't do that.
Yeah.
They claim self-defense. You know, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
different things and how they, someone just got done raping you and you make it to a gun and they're running away, you shoot them.
Right.
That's you. He got 7 years for that.
Wow. It's crazy how a law stuff is trying to think it's for you, but then turn around it's really not for you. It's like,
Right.
it plays itself.
Serve and protect,
Yeah.
you're alright. Serve and
So my
let
last one, I've
go.
been like, on the fence with this, how do you feel about a little kid's pregnancy?
Yeah.
Like, how are we feeling about that? Like, I was kind of,
I
the baby
mean-
father, what's his name, papers.
Paper chase something. Paper.
Congratulations.
First of all, she didn't even
I know
wanna-
he's
wait a
Puerto
minute.
Rican or
She didn't want to out. She
Dominican or
didn't want to out who her baby father was, but I guess that the father wanted his shine, and he outed himself. Like, yes, we're having a baby. She wanted to keep it secret. Yeah, I mean, pregnancy looks good on everybody, but her face has
I don't know
gone
who
through
the
so
baby
much.
gonna
I think that's basically what it is. It's
What
the
the
face
baby gonna
that
look
like kills me. Like, oh my god, you know,
The
look,
old
the
one.
stretch and everything.
Yeah,
Her nose can't afford to, the skin can't afford to. Like, it's all like.
it's just
Right.
yeah. I mean,
There's nothing you
no
can
more
do about
doctor,
that.
no more doctor visits.
But I guess that doesn't affect the neck down. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, at least the baby gonna come out looking like the oval.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
That's one thing you can be happy.
Unless she get plastic surgery.
All right, so today we have a new segment that we're introducing this week called Sensual Sundays, and it's Sex and Relationship 101. Now that's going to be the third Sunday, which is like today, the third
Okay.
Sunday of every month right
And
here.
she's coming in,
She's
right?
coming into the studio,
Okay.
and we're going to be talking about what everybody doesn't want to talk about. So we'll be talking about dating, getting involved with other people, male and female, having sex, having
OPP.
kids. I know it. I did. And-
OPP, right? What about OPP?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. So we just need to make sure that y'all tuned in for that. I feel like everybody's doing it, but no one's talking about it.
Question: OPP, is it old people's PUSSY or is it other people's property?
Other people's property.
It is other people's property. I thought it was old people's PUSSY.
That's both.
Okay, but you're saying it's
The
both.
ratchet version is
OPP.
PUSSY, the other version
Well,
is
thank God I'm not.
political correct.
I never really
Thank God I'm not ratchet.
What?
Alright, so we just need to make sure that y'all tune in at 3 o'clock today for that. Taz will be in the building for that. She'll be setting up. Well, she actually is coming in with like her line and you know
Toys?
of toys and showing us how to use it, how to
It's time to
please
get our buzz
ourselves.
on.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't really know that. Like, we want to be satisfied, but we don't really communicate that. Or some of us, we feel uncomfortable to communicate it.
Are you a toy person?
Yeah.
You know, I actually used to do product
I'm
reviews.
not gonna lie.
I used to do product reviews for this magazine, and I had the opportunity of doing a product review for Bevel Candy, and I had the opportunity to do a product review for this thing called Jimmy Jane, and they were fingerless. They were finger vibrators. You put them on your fingers, and you had this. You put the vibrators on your fingers, and then there was a little button that you push, and they, they would vibrate. Only thing with that, it was just too much damn work. I was like,
Yeah, I can see. First of all, I don't like using the fingers because you gotta bend your wrist up.
well, no, you just sit it on the top of the clitoris or whatever, and then do the
Oh,
chest
okay.
or whatever. But the Bevel Candy, my issue with the Bevel Candy, it was cute, it was fun, but you gotta plug it to USB.
Of a woman.
To USB. I
Oh,
don't know.
I'm not gonna do the cord attached to it. No, absolutely
No,
not.
if
It's
it
gonna
dies,
roll over.
you gotta charge it up on your computer. I don't have my damn laptop in the room with me, you
Oh,
know?
your box.
So,
Have you ever had sex with somebody using a toy?
Buzzy laughs.
once. Just once. It's funny though. It's
So
funny.
how the women
I
take
don't know what
care
I
of
want to know, like, we should bring up. I just wonder, do guys get jealous of girls' toys? Like,
No, you're supposed to use it together.
no, forget your toy. What about me? And let's do our thing, and our thing is better than the toy. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder, like,
What was with the voice?
I love it.
No, but you're supposed to use it together. I guess it's what Taz will probably touch on. That you're supposed to use it together. So
Okay.
I'm excited.
But
to
what
see
about
that.
when the girl just kind of like on a sneak tip, like 3 in the morning, you snoring, you like this, and Girl, you hear that saying? Like, what the hell?
Wait, she might be
Like,
on
what
the
about
way.
that? She's sneaking. Like, is that considered cheating? You know, like, what is that all about? Like,
I don't know how much time we
can
have.
it be toy cheating or?
I know we talked about sex. I don't know how much time we have, but I was watching TLC, the Winter Channel. It was a show called The Sex Sent Me to the ER. And this woman
Oh, they
kept-
had stuff up there.
Wait,
Anal.
no. This woman kept having orgasms after she had sex. For like 4 hours straight, she kept having an orgasm. At the end of the day, she ended up having to be put on bipolar medicine for the rest of her life because she had a chemical imbalance where her brain wasn't connected to her.
There was one lady that was having like over 100 a day.
Yeah, I saw that show.
I would like to be her.
No, she said it was horrible. Even the woman said it was mentally and physically
I woke up,
exhausting. She couldn't do nothing. She said she was kept, even though she tried to concentrate, she said it was mentally, physically
Should be at the table.
Yes.
Now let's talk. Now speaking of that, let's talk comparisons because I hear that women with the piercing on the chest and down there it has a little extra. You know what I mean? Do y'all know anything about that?
I don't know.
People have to ask Taz.
I can't wait for her to come in. I'm excited about that. I can't wait for she comes
Alright, so
on.
that's today at 3.
Okay.
Well, on the show today, we have Jahamin of ETL, and yes, she's really going to call in today. We have
Yay!
recording artist Lay Jones coming past the
I
studio.
like Lady Jo. She did an awesome performance when we saw her. And
Yeah, she did, yeah,
she really
she
turned it
did.
up. I'm excited that she's coming in.
We have Jasmine of Jasmine's House, and she's going to be our small business spotlight, and in Tam will be holding down our sensual Sunday segment. So if you want to be a part of today's discussion or questions, make sure you hit us up to chat 773-897-6277. Again, that's 773-897-6277. You can also join us on social media and Twitter at the Deli Grind. Wait, Twitter's the Deli Grind.
PC.
Okay, Instagram and Facebook is Deli Grind 215. All right, I messed up a little bit. So I broke my A game today though. So I got my accomplice Cherie. She's gonna be holding social media down. We're gonna discuss why she was late. During the break too.
It is not. Don't come for me. I got here.
Only thing I want to say about her is her party. Oh man, that thing looked right. She was hitting me up on Instagram like
We gonna talk about these outbursts. House party.
She was emojiing me up like crazy. I'm like, hey, I mean, can we get an invite though?
So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come back with the discussion question.
Yeah, I'm excited.
There we go. All right, y'all. Oh, we're back. It's your girl, Kid the City. I'm here with,
Jay Rich is here.
And DJ Bugsy.
and you're officially tuned into the Deli Ground Radio Show, and we're getting ready to talk about this topic.
I'm excited. I'm ready.
You
We're
ready?
doing it. Wait, drum roll. Ready? We have drum roll or do my makeshift drum roll?
Drum
Oh,
roll,
she got it,
please.
she got it.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I love her. All right. So, the question is, how long should you wait before you introduce your kids to someone you're dating, and why?
I don't have kids, so next.
Yeah, but you can see it on both sides.
Hey, I'm just joking.
No, but she can see it on both sides. Now she don't have any kids. But if you meet a guy that has
Oh,
kids,
good, because I don't date guys that have kids.
Okay.
So,
Damn. That's
because I'm that selfish.
have you ever?
I'm that
Okay.
selfish. Yes, I have. And it gets on my dad, one nurse, one at church. Cheese. When can I go to the movies? No, you don't have a kid. We gotta go to Chuck E. Cheese. We gotta go to Sesame Place. We gotta go here. Oh, my son got a cold. I can't live. And then you spend all your money on your kid. There's no money for me. Oh, that's why Jay Rich doesn't date anybody with kids. She's in a selfish mode, and that's okay.
So if you had kids, how long do you think you should wait? Do you think?
Oh, if I have this one be the father of my child, if he think he going somewhere, we got a problem. There's no other
Right,
introductions.
Me, from my experiences, I have 2 kids, a son and a daughter, 6 months to a year. And it's based on the comfortability I have with the girl, because every case by case is different. And also it depends on if she has kids, and then she might want to do a kid date with her kid and my kid. So that might speed the process up a little bit. But somebody that I might date that don't have something, not something, then that's going to make it a little bit longer. That's basically how I look.
So if they had kids, then that 6-month period could look like a 3-month period.
No, 6 months is the start. There's no
Oh,
3
okay.
months, so 6 months. to
Okay,
a
so
year.
it'd be
That
closer to
time
the 6
frame.
months
Right.
if you have
Can
one.
I ask
Right.
a question? What if they meet and it doesn't like mesh?
The kids?
Yeah, the kids in the mate with the net.
Well, I don't think it's going to mesh on the first initial contact because all kids have different personalities. Her son might want to hit my son in the head with toys. My son might want to hit him back with something bigger. So at the end of the day, that's how it goes. I mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think, because from my past experience, my ex-girl and my son we used to always clash because her son was like rambunctious, like baby kids, like just was wilding out, like he would just be hitting kids, he would just be jumping off steps, jumping off bunk beds, and I'd be like, hey dog, you ain't messed up or nothing, you ain't gotta take you to the hospital or nothing. Like no, like it's just certain kids you can't, it's just like it's gotta be a level, like it takes time for you to discipline people, kids, like all that. So that's all taken consideration, and then it depends on the girl. Like she might have a deep heart for it. Like some people that's in relationships or certain kids, they're favoritism to their son or they favoritism to their daughter. So if you might say something they might not like, that could be out of pocket. So it all depends on the situation.
So if you're seeing somebody, do you tell the kids that you're seeing somebody but you don't get to meet them, or do when they get to meet them they find out that you're dating that person at the same time?
Well, that's funny you said that. Because my daughter, last weekend when I had her, she was comparing like people, like I told her about a particular girl I was talking to, and she was comparing her to somebody else. She was like, well, man, I think that's just a better girl for you. Like, you know, she was trying to like basically compare two different girls. Like, and I'm just trying to explain to her, like at the end of the day, she has her own opinion. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that's going to make the final decision, regardless of what she said. But I do want my daughter to be comfortable for whoever I date at the same time, too. So you got to really take the kids' opinion to a little bit of consideration, but not too much. Because you do have to consider, especially when they at 11, 10, and they at the age of reason, and they can understand, you know, the situation.
So let me ask one more then. So let's say you didn't tell the kids, right? But you've been dating this woman exclusively. Okay. And a year. She finally meets the kid. It's been 11 months and 29 days.
Okay.
And she meets the kids. Now you're in love with this woman. You guys have talked about marriage and it's time to meet the kids.
Okay.
You finally meet the kids and the kids hate her.
Well, I mean, if my kids hate the girl that I'm dating exclusively, then I think in time they will kind of like gravitate to her in time. Like it might take 2 years before my kids start to like her, but I'm not going to just cut her off because my kids don't like her. Like I think that's just, I don't agree with that. Like your kids can't dictate your life. You're the boss of your kids. So if you love a woman and you fall in love with a woman and they hate your girl, then they just want to suck it up. Like that's just it. Like I'm not going to mess up a love life or a possible future with somebody because you don't like them. You're going to have to grow to like that person. That's just how I feel.
That's interesting. I don't know if I would definitely take that route. I don't know if I would. I think that how my kids feel.
That's it. Super safe.
So what do you do with all of it? How would you take people with?
Alright, so if my kids were like, no, I'm not feeling it, then we would be out. Only because I had that situation happen to me, right? With my mom. I feel like my mom was, when it came down to it, it was like she chose a stepdad. You know what I mean? So I know on the receiving end what that feels like.
But at the same time, I would want to know, I would have a constant conversation with my children and ask, well, what is it about that you don't like? And if it's something that I feel that she needs to change, then she will change that. You know, but I'm not going to just give up on her, just, I'm out. Like, because it got to be the pros and the cons. Like, it got to be where it's though, if my kids got a definitive, concrete evidence of why this woman is a certain thing, and I start peeping stuff that they seeing, then that's a different story. Because then, you know, the evidence keep popping up. These red flags just keep going off. So that's something different. But if I'm not seeing what they keep saying is happening, it just don't ever come up. Just like I think they just, you know, pulling the wool over my eyes. They not really, there's nothing really concrete you got. So why should I leave this woman alone?
Yeah, well, it can't just be, well, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't like you. But I also feel that too, when you take into consideration that the kids, you are bonded with kids for life, but you're taking a chance on a relationship. You know what I mean? So you don't want to sacrifice something that you're bonded with for life. You want a chance that it might work or it might not work. But I do want to read some of the comments though from Instagram. So Mr. Residual said, wait until you feel the timing is right. You don't want your kids to see how unstable your love life is and marry that. You want them to see that you handle your business on your own, and one day this great person popped to assist in the family goals. And he said, I don't believe it. And I'm gonna read one more. So, Hello Beauty on Instagram said, at least a few months, like 6 months, because time will only tell a true person. They
So
be like
did she
the
agree with
perfect.
the 6-month rule?
So she said their intentions and what they really want from you, and she thinks that a few months should tell you if you like a person enough to want them to meet your family, especially your kids. And I agree with that. Because sometimes people, they do such a good job of concealing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, they just like pop out of nowhere, like, damn, where this come from? And why are you doing that? They start beating you and all that stuff.
Right.
So, well, I don't
Did she agree with my sister?
Definitely with the 6-month rule.
Oh, what's her name? I'm about to shout
Hello,
out.
Beauty.
Hello, Beauty. I feel you, Beauty. I don't know if you're beautiful, but I feel you.
That voice.
You were coming like echo.
Alright, well, thank you guys so much. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to actually do our small business spotlight.
Yeah, we got Miss Lay Jones in the building. She'll be touching the mic soon.
She looks nice.
Yeah.
Swag on too.
773-897-6277. Daily Grind. Hey everybody, it's your girl Jay Rich. You are tuned into the Daily Grind Radio Show. I'm here with my man CJ Bugsy.
Yes.
The most beautiful host in the world is Key to the City. And if you're just tuned in, you got to listen to Miss Jasmine House, who just promoted her new t-shirt line that was excellent. She had the whole Ohio in the building on the line. So we want to give her a special shout out for that.
Yes.
We want to say thank you for calling in. Please make sure you guys support her. Go to our Instagram, check her out. We want to definitely keep supporting people who are doing good in their communities and making things happen. Oh, this is like a jam-packed show today. We got Lee Jones who wanted to be touching down on the mic real quick. We got Taz. Century Sunday's about to go on. I'm excited. DJ Bugsy needs some tips for the bedroom. You know, this is about to go down. And it's always about to happen.
Yeah, baby.
So you admitted that you need some new tips for the bedroom, Bugsy?
Oh no, I'm not admitting that.
No, because you laughed. I figured that was like a bit that, yeah, we have.
that was
You do, need to
hilarious.
spruce, you do need to spruce it up some if you ain't down with toys. They got cock rings, all that. Taz is on her way in, she parking. I'm telling her, okay? They got cock rings, that keeps the blood flowing.
She is in the whole COCK. That's how you spell it. Yeah, I'm right. COCK word, right? Put on the little phonics.
I love robbery. We're gonna talk about it. I don't have sex at all.
Do you not pop your tea bags in the mic?
Oh.
How you looking at that? So.
We're gonna talk about it though.
So, I want to actually get back.
Oh boy, it's crazy.
So, this is what I want to know. I want to know why would it be an issue if a woman and a man had toys in the bedroom? That's what I want to know. Why would that be an issue?
We're gonna talk about it. Alright, we're gonna talk about it.
Oh, that's right. Don't you have a cool email that's coming up for us today, too? There's gonna be some issues?
Yep, when
Oh,
Taz comes
I'm so
on, she's part, I'm excited about that too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's a little long too.
Oh, really?
So we're gonna have Lay come in. The beautiful Lay, we're gonna set her up. How you doing, Lay?
So let me tell you, we gotta tell them how we met Lay Jones. We have to let them know. We
Oh,
met Lay
I got a
Jones.
story
I
about
had-
Lake
wait,
too.
I had
I got
a
a story too.
You did?
Yeah, she's the same age.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Lay from when she ripped the stage at our fancy then.
Oh yeah, I was surprised on
No,
that.
Lay-
I did not know that. I didn't know. I thought you got her the same time I met her.
No.
She didn't even remember. She's like, I thought so too.
Oh, and we love Egypt.
Yeah, okay.
We love Egypt. So, Lay, we're so excited that you're here. So, actually, you've met all of us. But
Well, she almost. Well, my story with Lake is I invited her to a radio show that I had previous before the Daily Grind called the Love and Soul Jam. And what happened was she got into a car accident on her way to the show.
Oh.
And she was panicked. She was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I'm in an accident. What should I do? I've never been in an accident before. She was like, what about the insurance? Should I call the cops first? Should I call the insurance company first? I'm like, calm down, lady. Masu. Count to 10. She counted to 10. I got her on track and she was good. But yeah, that's me and Lady been talking ever since. And on top of that, we mutual friends with Rox, who's a super producer from Philly. And she's actually working with her right now in the studio. So.
Oh, wow. Let's make this keeps on growing.
Yeah.
So, everybody knows Lay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
She
what
didn't even know.
I
She didn't even know.
Okay, so I know you're here to talk about this new album that we got going on. We got this new video that's about to drop. Are you
Yes.
dancing? Are you pumping it in the music video? Because you and your girls was pumping it.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm twisting it. They was like, what make it sweat? I was like, oh, I'm really sweating. Like,
Yeah.
y'all were getting it. So is it, so let's talk about this new album. What's the EP?
Yes.
What's it called?
Right now, I really don't have a name for it, so I'm just calling it EP
Okay. That's cool.
That's
Because
fine.
it's the
What about the
second-
EP too?
Yeah, it's the second EP that I'm putting out. So right now EP2, but I kind of like it.
I like
so,
that.
Yeah.
I don't
do
know.
Like,
too.
R. Kelly had TV, what's it called TP too?
I know. I feel like R. Kelly
TBT.com.
did.
Yeah, so did they do EP too?
Name it after me.
Yeah. So right now, EP2 will be out this summer.
Okay. Who would have
Maybe a little earlier, maybe this spring. I'm not sure yet, but
What are we doing? With a slow song? We doing fast
Oh,
songs?
we have-
What are we doing?
we definitely have a variety of music on
Okay.
the EP2. I would say we do have pop and R&B and some slow, sexy, and
Okay.
clubbish. We have
Okay.
all different types, you know, of
That's
music
good.
on this album. So
Alright.
I'm really looking forward to it, hoping that the fans really take to it and really enjoy it as much as they enjoy it. I Want to Dance,
Right,
which
yeah.
is my first EP that I put out last summer. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it and waiting to see
The
the
reaction.
reaction from the fans.
So, label the artist, do you write?
I do. I write all my music.
Or so you have like total creative control, you watch your projects, you watching everything, like nobody,
Yes,
you have the last second.
Yes, I like to be involved in the whole creating process. So yes, I do write my music, and I also like, you know, talk with the producers as far as like what kind of sound I'm looking for. So yeah.
Okay, so are you like, do you produce, do you do beats, what else do you do?
No, I'm not a producer.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not Swiss Beats. But I mean, I do help the producers and give them ideas of what kind of sound.
What you're looking for, go ahead.
Yes.
And what's the experience been like working with That's my buddy.
She is amazing. Elle
Yeah.
Rocks is super dope. Like, she's lots of fun. She is down to earth, and she definitely creates the environment for you in the studio, makes you very comfortable.
Okay.
And it's been an amazing experience so far.
That's amazing. So are you signed to a label, or are you just straight like independent artist?
Right now, independent, but
That's
you know,
so
there's
good.
a lot of
Right.
good things.
Perks with that.
Yeah,
Right.
and
There's a lot of good things in the works going on.
yeah, that's what I was.
I knew you was
I didn't want to
getting
get into too much detail, but yeah. So
That's good. So, what's the writing process like for you? You do love songs sometimes, you said, right? So,
Yeah.
do you have to go through experiences, or are you taking a girlfriend's experience? What do you do?
I mean, I would say both, but for the most part, my own personal experiences. Gosh, don't ask me questions. Oh no.
So, speaking of love, did you have a good Valentine's Day? Did you go out?
I did. I had a great Valentine's Day actually.
Oh, you
Did you do
did?
anything
Wow.
special?
I did.
I'm not getting into details.
Was there candles involved? Was there candy? Was
It was just a lot of. Ooh, wait a minute. Look.
we want to
Just a
know.
lot of fun, romance,
So how can people find out your country music? I know you were helping us, you're telling us where we can go download some more of your music, because we always want to hear some stuff. So tell our listeners how we can find your music in any way.
Right now, my first EP is available on iTunes, but you can also check it out on reverbnation.com/LayJones. And it's also on SoundCloud/LayJones as well. And Facebook, Twitter, it's everywhere pretty much. Yeah, it is. It really is. Google Play,
Oh, great.
Amazon,
Oh, yes,
yeah,
we can find you.
Spotify. Yeah.
So the new music video.
Yes.
What's going on with this music video?
Okay, well, this video is for one of my songs from my first EP. It's titled Made for This, and it was directed by Brian Kyle.
Okay, I heard about him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
super
big time.
dope and super fun, and have a lot of great people involved in this project.
Okay.
And I'm super excited for it to come out and to see the reaction of the fans again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they have been anticipating a visual from me, so
Right.
this is definitely exciting, and I can't wait.
Me Me either. I want to talk about your ethnic background. Let the
Okay.
fans and the people know that your ethnic background, also how you felt about the whole situation that happened to you.
Okay. Yeah, well, I am Haitian, 100%. Mom and dad are from Haiti. And I was directly affected by the earthquake that happened in Haiti.
Okay.
Because I did lose a cousin that was working in the palace down there,
Okay.
the presidential palace. Yeah. So I was directly affected by it, and I actually dedicated one of my songs on my first EP to the tragedy that happened. Yeah, I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out the song Joyce, but I did like a tribute
I saw the
to.
video.
Yeah, I did like a little,
Yeah.
video tribute to everyone that was affected by the earthquake. Yeah, so definitely touched home for me, and so I had to, definitely
Pay tribute.
pay tribute.
Wow.
Are we gonna get a collaboration from you and Wyclef Jean? Cause I've talked to
Oh
you
my
about that
gosh.
before.
Yes, and I actually met him, and he's he's really nice, very friendly. I actually got to sit down and have dinner with him here in
Wow.
Philly. He listened to my music. I met with a lot of his people, and I would say definitely
Soon.
look
We
forward
need
to
that.
that because I am in communication with him. And,
That is
he
amazing.
is
He's super dope.
yeah, he is, and I think that would be dope.
I do too.
Yeah.
We talked about that, remember?
Yes, we
talked
did.
about
We
that.
did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So you said it's EP2 is slated for either spring or summer.
Yes, the spring or summer.
Are you looking for a dance like single to come out? What are you
Yes, we are going to have, I would say a mixture, kind of like dance with sexy at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about any upcoming performances?
Right now, I don't have any upcoming performances, but I am looking to venture out more in, I would say, overseas. So,
Oh, okay.
if any of you guys are going to be traveling, passports, okay, yeah, so.
Yeah.
This is one question. So, what song right now do you have playing like on repeat? Any song that you're jamming to right now?
Just like any song.
I was about to say, yeah, mine.
I like that though. Let's try it.
Well, other than my music, no, I'm just kidding. What do I have playing on repeat now? I really like the song with Beyonce and Jay-Z.
The Drunken Love.
Drunken Love. I do play that a lot, I would say. The radio does too.
Yeah.
They like to,
Run into the
Run
ground.
Yeah,
into the
they
ground.
do. But I also love Tamar Braxton.
Okay.
All the way home.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
When I'm driving all the way home, let me just play this. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Tamar and K. Michelle and Beyonce and Jay-Z. So
All right.
that's what my playlist.
That's what
is
your
like.
playlist is like. I love it. We're not mad at that.
A little bit of Fab too.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
I love it. That song.
There's a
Is
slim.
this your relationships?
That song is slim. It's a slim thing.
Yeah, Slip.
I love Slim Thick. I
I
love that song.
was just put on to that song. I
I think it's
like
in
it.
Jeremiah.
Yeah,
I love
I
that
love
song.
that song.
I think it's Jeremiah's song featuring Fabulous, actually.
It's
No,
one of
no,
those.
it's the other way. It's
It's
Fab
a-
featuring Jeremiah. It's his
a-
mixtape.
I
yeah.
love it.
love
Did you see the video?
I did.
Super sexy.
It is.
Makes me want to go get Slim Thick.
Yes.
Okay.
She
So
wild.
we were in the studio here with Miss Lady Jones, and she just like put it down for us. She heard about her EP2, which is going to be the title of the EP.
Yes, I think I am.
We're gonna do. I think you should try to do a vote on Instagram or Facebook and see what your followers think.
Yeah, or your fans too.
Yes, I think you should go for EP2.
That's a good idea.
I say keep the city.
You know, that's what you're gonna do your mixtape. That's for the mixtape. We got to go on in the future.
We have someone that said they're tuning in and saying yes, Team Beyonce.
Okay. Yes, here we go. Well, everybody, this is Miss Lady Jones. Tell them how we can get in touch with you, please.
All your social media.
All of it.
Yeah, well, you can definitely follow me on Instagram at The Lady Jones. That's LEYJOANS. Or you can follow me on Twitter, same name, LEYJOANS. And I'm also on Reverb Nation, SoundCloud, Facebook, you name it. Like,
Your YouTube channel.
Google me. Look,
Yeah,
I always
love
wanted
that.
to say that.
I love that.
Well, you heard it here. Go Google her if you want to see her. Hear from her. And that was Miss Elaine Jones. Please check her out every day, anytime
Yes.
on the internet. And
We have Taz in the building.
we have Miss Tess coming on tonight. And so we're about to take a quick break.
Yes.
We'll head over to Taz. So what's going on?
We're gonna
We'll take a
we're gonna
break.
Taz set up, see if she has any doodles from me.
And while you're doing that, you go jam to Miss Elaine Jones.
All right.
All right. See you guys. Be back.
All right, y'all, we're back. It's your girl, Cuba City. I'm here with my boo
Jay Rich is here.
and my other boo.
DJ Bugsy.
DJ
Oh.
Buzz.
Oh, you ain't
he
know?
missed it.
Oh, okay. That's how we do.
Oh, he missed it.
DJ Buzz.
Okay,
Don't
everything-
do that.
Okay, that's how we do.
Don't do that.
I understand.
Okay.
All right, so we're back. It's 3 o'clock, and we're introducing this new segment, Sensual Sunday. It's going to be the third Sunday of every month
Okay.
with Taz. We have Taz in the building. How you doing, Taz?
So excited about
I am too.
sex.
So it's going to be Sex and Relationships 101. Now you own this. You sold me on this. And she got a glove. It's a pink glove with something in it.
Excited.
Now we've been talking about sex, dildos, lotion, positions, cock rings, all morning. Because I'm excited about this.
You have your bleeper ready, you got it ready? Because they about to like do some explicit words out there, so, okay.
So I'm excited about this. So I want, people to really get a feel of who Taz is and what she does. So tell us about your background.
Well, my background actually, the whole sex component of my background was about 7 years ago. I started doing, in-home parties where all the women get together and have those girls' nights and put all the sex toys on display and demonstrate them. I started doing those parties about 7 years ago, and that's kind of how I started the sex part of it. I did it initially to make more money, but what I was learning as I was doing it was when it was time to order products, people were coming in the home sharing so much more than what I had anticipated. More like women who had been married for 10 years and like, I never did this about orgasm, or people like really sharing intimate details more of like psychosexual type of issues. Because my background was also a therapist, I'm a clinical therapist, that's what I do. It started to connect. So I went from doing like counseling therapy into having more of a specific specialized interest in couples and sex therapy, which is what I do now. So I'm a couples and sex therapist, and I also do in-home toy parties. So it all kind of environments.
So, I know we definitely have a lot of questions for you. I know one of the things though, just to be able to build on that is that we want to incorporate the Tell Taz segment.
Yes.
So tell us about the Tell Taz.
So Tell Taz is basically going to be like, I want you guys out there listening to, one, start listening to Sensual Sundays, become too hype about it, and two, like email, call in, any type of like relationship, sex issues, questions that you had. It can be anonymous if you're not feeling comfortable with your identity, and tell me about it, and I will try to help you with the solution.
So I like that. And then, so you bring in products.
Each Sensual Sunday, we're gonna have a little product spotlight of things that I sell, things that I push on people that help to enhance romance, intimacy, and passion. Everything, I also want to kind of just add, everything is not explicit dildos. I actually sell way less dildos than I sell a whole lot of other things, more like
What's the number one seller?
Number one seller is something that is a clitoral stimulation cream that works for men or women. It's actually a cream that works for it's edible, but it also gives very intense tingling sensation. That would be my number one. The number one seller vibrator is actually bullet, not a dildo. So believe it or not, we kind of joke around about the dildos a lot, but
Oh, what, the bullet?
yeah, the bullet is the number one seller. It's the most common sex toy.
Because that's the one you do on Sneak. It's so little.
That's
Yeah, I'm
the
a
one that
vibrator
was
queen.
used when you asked
I
me.
have a whole line.
Remember when
Product
earlier
line
when
at
you
home.
asked Key to the City, remember earlier when you asked me what did they use? That's what they used, the bullet. So
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist. All sex toys are pretty much just kind of built around a bullet. It's just a very strong pack of vibration, which helps women with clitoral stimulation. It can also be pleasurable for men too, because the men are going to vibration as well. I heard you say earlier, I was listening earlier, and you were like, "Does men get jealous?" And I was thinking about that because that comes up a lot at the parties. And
Right.
actually, yes, sometimes we do.
So-
But I think men would be more likely to be jealous of the competing items, which are the dildos that
You
are
did
just
say
like
that.
penises,
So-
as
But
opposed
why,
to
but why are you
vibrators.
jealous? because
I didn't
she's
say
getting
specifically.
satisfaction.
I didn't say I was specifically jealous. I just know talking to some of my homies that got girls, we all like have guy talk. Like we be out and about, having beers, and they be like, "Well, dog, are you jealous of your girl?" You know what I mean? Or I ask them the same question, and I get some I get no, and some I get yes. Now me personally no, but I'm just saying that comes up in guy conversations.
I'm glad you brought it up because it actually comes up a lot in my parties when women want to buy certain items and they are afraid to buy certain items because of how their partner is going to respond to that item.
Right.
So a lot of my parties, most of the women I see at my parties are not single. They are with partners.
Right.
So I do push a lot of things to be used together as opposed to isolated, although they're isolated.
Yeah, because you heard me say, what about when a girl, do it and you did sleep, you might have had, comatose in a drink before, and you hear this buzz in the middle of the night. So, that's all. Yeah, I mean, she ain't go out and get the breath thing, so,
Maybe you just did your job so well that she was like insatiable and she needed more.
Ooh, I like that word. Insatiable. That sounds like something Prince would say, but I like that.
But Ryan says he doesn't feel jealous. So, alright, so we're gonna do tell tabs, and I have a letter. We actually have someone that wrote a letter. It's a lengthy letter. Did you want to do that before or after your segment?
We can do it. I'm trying to think. You can do it before. Yeah.
Alright, so we have a lady, Dear Anonymous, we want to call her, and she's talking about a relationship she has. So here's the letter. Alright, so it says, I met this guy a few months ago, and he really caught my eye, mainly because of his physique. Very attractive man, and it looked like he may have already been taken. Then I thought to myself, a girl like me couldn't even compare because I'm not like the average weave-tearing chick with tight clothes. So why on earth would he even give me the time of day? But when the message was passed along, Riley,
I'm sorry. I'm so
God
sorry.
was on my side. He was currently single and somewhat available, but not looking. But that was okay for me. As time went on, which was only a few weeks, but the few weeks to me felt like a lifetime with this guy, and I must admit, I really started to like him. Lost my spot, y'all. Oh, okay. So I had to figure out what to do to keep him around in my life, and I didn't want to lose such a great person like him. We came up with this plan of just being friends with benefits. I was down with that. I didn't see anything wrong with that at all. I was able to have him in my life in the hopes of maybe one day the benefits could possibly progress into something more. Or even if they didn't progress into something more, we would have figured it out down the line. As time went on, I became more involved in his life with his children, in which I adore and think the world of. I would take his kids here and there, and he would allow me to see them on the weekends or whenever I wanted. Or if I was at his place, I would spend time with them there. I would buy them things, take them out to movies, and just overall spend quality time with them. I felt like I was trying to be a positive influence in their lives. I lost my spot.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so.
It was a long letter.
Oh yeah, so getting to the point of the entire current situation with this guy, I felt like I dedicated so much of my time in the past 5 months. I probably dedicated more time to him than I did in my previous marriage with my cheap ex-husband. And yes, granted we were just friends, and I understood that completely, but there was a situation that took place a few months ago. He met someone from off the internet, and we will leave her name as Mrs. Unknown. She started to stalk me on Facebook, leaving me threatening messages about me messing with her man, and she would kill me, and all crazy types of stuff. And he knew that she was crazy.
It's a lifetime.
So fast forward into now, I've become very hurt and upset in regards to this, and asked him why he felt the need to be friends with her again on Facebook, and he responded to me, why is it my concern? I felt like that was a stab in the heart and the back. I felt like there was no type of loyalty, especially if he and I were supposed to be best friends. I feel like the loyalty is supposed to be with me and not with her. That upset me more than anything and hurt. I explained to him that this showed me his character and who he was as a person. His response to me was, she just wants to be friends. I think we all as individuals carry the word friend loosely. In my mind, she is not a friend. I was a friend, I did enough. I felt like if he ever needed me to do anything, I would have his back because that's what best friends do regardless. That girl or any other female he may be messing with did not have his best interest at heart, like I did, and that is why my heart aches every single day. I only wish this guy knew and wasn't so stubborn and opened his eyes and saw it from my point of view. Did I make a mistake in this situation? Yes, maybe I should have talked to him face to face and stopped hanging up on him. For that, I am sorry. But why he chooses not to see who his girlfriend is what saddens me every day, because when sex isn't involved, I still would have his back.
Very long letter.
In the record.
I read it a couple days ago just to kind of get an idea of it. And first of all, thank you, Anonymous, for sending that letter in. Because I feel like these situations kind of being asked a lot. And this is kind of similar to, like, when people come to see me for therapy, I feel like, they'll tell me about a problem and they focus so much on the other person. And really, unless that other person is present, I can't really focus on the other person as much as the person who's sitting in front of me. And therefore, I have to kind of do it better in the same way. A couple things stuck out to me. First of all, I felt like she had some insecurity issues because of the fact that even when she said that she felt like the guy wouldn't have been interested in her, she like related to because I'm not a keep wearing tight jean wearing. And she wasn't necessarily, I didn't necessarily feel like she was saying it like that as a negative thing, almost like that she didn't fit that description, and so that she didn't feel good about her own self-worth because of it. So that kind of struck out at me because I'm like, okay, if you're not that, then good for you, or whoever you are, who you want to be. Only that can be confident about that. So I felt like there was some insecurity issues. Other thing that struck me about this letter that I feel like we might have run into a bad situation is once I feel like the guy was actually pretty upfront. He said that he wasn't looking for something, and she went into it knowing that she had the intentions of trying to change the situation, as opposed to kind of listening to just what he told her, which was he wasn't looking for anything. So she went into it accepting the friends with benefits, which, she's grown, he's grown, so be it. But don't go into a situation where you're going to, ladies, for all of you, it's not just Anonymous, but when you're going to be friends with benefits, if you know that you want more, you're already setting yourself up for failure. And actually, you're not being fair to your part of the deal because you're signing up for one thing and you have a secret intention to getting something else. And it doesn't sound like he ever kind of transitioned that relationship to be more than friends with benefits. I also thought it was a good mistake for him to start hanging out with kids. And you were kind of playing the girlfriend role, even though he had linked you and were treating you like your friends with benefits. By looking for him, hanging out with kids. Why would friends with benefits hang out with each other's kids? It seems like kids should be off limits for friends with benefits. So I feel like, that's probably why your heart and your emotions got so involved and why you were so hurt by that incident. But I really do feel like in this situation, the Anonymous should step back and kind of look at her own role in it. We really do set up how people treat us, or what the relationships we're going to have with people based off of what we give out or what we accept. And that's the irony of our relationships. The very same thing that we say we don't want, we respond to people or react in a way that pretty much elicits more of that behavior. It's called like repetition compulsion, where you respond in a way that gets more of the behavior you say you don't desire. And I feel like this is a case of that.
Oh, what's it called again? That's
Repetition
me.
compulsion.
Oh, I had to work on that too.
We all do it. I feel like this was a good example of that. If that relationship is not working well for you, and this is for everybody, not just Anonymous, but if a relationship that you're in, is not giving you what you need, and furthermore that it's not going to give you what you need, then you just have a choice to make. You can continue to be in it and be friends with benefits, which I don't think this ever really was, because the writer always had more intentions, or you could choose not to be in it. And I feel like he never really misled her in what the relationship was, so I can't really even fault the guy in this situation. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think?
I think the same thing. I think that the friends with benefits is really tricky because it's labeled that way. When really you can just actively date and screw whoever you want to screw. But I think like when you label it like friends with benefits, it is like a little.
Like a relationship?
Yeah, I think like that's saying we're in a relationship but we're not.
It's like you claimed it somehow, so because you
Yeah,
titled it.
exactly.
And once you put a title, which means you put a thought into what's
We're
going
friends
on.
with benefits.
Instead of just letting it flow, and it's like, yo, I'm doing this dude, we cool like that, but I do other dudes too, we cool like that, and we just move on.
The thing about friends with benefits too is just like regular relationships, they have to have a boundary with that because this relationship didn't have boundaries. It's crossing all types of boundaries. With bringing in the kids and cooking for them. I mean, that was like benefit. That's like girlfriend, wife, benefits. Not friends with benefits. So even in those relationships that you set up, you know, or when you chooses to have just a sexual relationship with somebody, set a boundary around what that's going to be, what that's going to be. If you know that you're going to get more emotionally involved by doing all the extras, then don't do all the extras and just try to set a boundary for
Well, I
yourself.
think what women do is when we do that and then thinking like, if I do this, he'll be my man. You know, trying to set yourself, when you put yourself in white people, thinking you want to get the white people, but you're still going to do the side chick or whatever, no role.
Yeah.
And then that's the type you want to still get. Instead of saying to the dude, hey, I'm feeling this way, I think she feels like if she brings that up, he's going to run away.
Right.
I think just to the man.
Well, that
I think what
happens.
happens to me, and then all which y'all didn't bring up is, I mean, from experiences that I have, is that when you tell a girl straight up that this is what it is, months go by, and all of a sudden she's like, but I thought, no, you didn't think, because I told you from the debate. Like, I hate that. Like, don't try to, then you blowing up my phone, like, no, decline. Like, I already told you what it was, but you still didn't get the picture. That's the thing that I hate. That's why I don't really like doing the friends with benefits, because they don't get it. Like, that's it, and that's it.
Oh, he would have hopped up. He got to go through it. The voice still went up.
Like, bro, I can't stand. Yo,
Like
I've
sound
been
effects for buttons.
through.
He
Yeah.
just went in real quick.
So obviously you're very familiar with that situation.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. The jury ain't out. Yes, he is.
Whoa.
Well, I think he's right, and I also think it's a good segue. That's why I wanted to read before into what we're going to be talking about today, which is the differences in men and women, and just how our brains are truly wired differently. And that's why in situations like this, where even they might go into it and saying, okay, I want to be friends with benefits, the way her brain is wired connects everything to everything. So this means that, and that means that. Whereas for the guy, it's like, this is sex. You're doing cooking for my kids. You're taking care of my, all of those are separate. But none of them are coming together, meaning,
Right.
I want you to be my John. I want you to be
Yeah.
my main girl.
Right.
So for men, they think very differently, and it can compartmentalize these different areas. Whereas
Oh, I love that
women,
word too.
we're going to connect
Killing it.
so
Go
many
ahead,
different
Taz.
things to other things. So
Oh yeah, I see why you
a lot
got
of
the
women are
position
not
you
built
got.
for that, yeah.
I see why you got what you got. I mean, you coming on this joint, you let them know for free what it is.
Shut up, Tia. Okay.
Alright, well, let's get into this segment.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna talk to him.
Put water on his face. Okay. Cool his hands down.
No, but I'm for real though.
She was right, so she was right.
represented though, seriously.
Men do differently than women. That's why women end up with tears because they don't think about this is just what this is.
Right.
You put it all together. Like I said, you already put yourself in girlfriend mode. But it wasn't girlfriend mode from
Well,
the
you know what
beginning.
I think the key to that is too, is that women's emotions get involved quicker than a man's emotions.
Oh, that's definitely true. Women wear more emotionally. Men are emotionalists.
Alright, well, let's get into this segment. I'm interested in hearing about this segment.
Alright, so what we're going to talk about today is men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I feel like this was a good way to start it off because a lot of the different topics I'm going to bring in, I'm going to probably always relate back to some of this information, which is, I already mentioned, like how differently our brains work and how we're wired differently. And this comes up a lot, especially in relationships, romantic relationships, while we clash, while we just don't get each other. It truly can feel like sometimes we are just not from the same places then, that we're just on different planets, we don't live in the same place. And girls, you know, they can talk to our girlfriends, we're like, yeah, girl, we just don't get it. And we're like, yeah, right, you know, we just don't get it. And they talk to their guys and they're like, yo, Dawn's crazy. Like, I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know why she just doesn't get it. And this happens a lot. So there's been a lot of recent research, scientific research actually, that proves, I feel like not only does this prove, but it justifies. It makes me feel so much better that I'm just, out the way I am, I can't help it. Or,
Or they kept it, right.
Right. This, I feel like this takes off some of the pressure from us to think, well, why can't he? But basically what they found is that, so in our brains, we have like these different regions of our brains and different hemispheres. And so a lot of recent studies recently showed that there's a higher neural connectivity from the front to the back of the brain within one hemisphere for males, which suggests that their brains are structured to facilitate connectivity between perception and coordinated action, which is also kind of reflective of men being better at like systemizing tendencies or like mechanistical type of thinking, whereas in contrast, women we have, it's so funny when you talk about the woman stuff. The recent studies that show females, our brain wiring goes from left to right hemispheres, suggesting that they facilitate communication between the analytical and the intuition, which is one of the reasons why women are more connected to like emotions, which is where our left and right hemispheres are, and the front and the back are more of the perception and coordinated action where men are. Which, and it's funny too, it's this, go ahead, ask the question.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's deep. But the question I got is, why are men so visual? You know, when we see a donkey or a chest jiggling, but women, they see a man, they're like, oh, he got white teeth, he got a nice chest, but we get into it, like we get indulged, like, wow. Can you explain that with the brain?
Visual part of it? Yeah, I mean, that's also a part of the perception, because, you know, the perception is like, let's say, oh, wow, she got a fat butt, and that's what I like. So the perception is, oh, wow, fat butt, like, you're compartmentalizing that, like, that is connecting to the coordinated action of whatever the turn on is about that. So that's automatically.
That's what that means.
It's basically turning you on. Yeah, it's basically turning you on. And so, I mean, men are more visual creatures, and women in general are just more like detail-oriented, analytical, intuitive creatures. So men are always going to be more visual
than women.
Yeah.
So when women see, so do they, like, what I'm saying, if a woman see a man with a physique playing basketball, and a man, do we see it the same way? Like, you know how a woman like, man, boy, like, and but a man, we be just like, mouth dropping, like women mouth don't really drop, so I'm just trying to figure that out.
That's the other thing that's interesting about that. A part of that too is also about memory, because some of these brain connectivities that I'm talking about reflect the differences in our memory. Remember, women have a better detailed memory. So men, for example, let's say a woman, like women are real, that's why they say women are sneaky. Because women can be real subtle about theirs. Like we can turn and look at a guy like this,
so
turn around and know everything. Like he had on a blue shirt, he was this, he was with that person. Whereas the guy's like, you know, he can't stop looking at it. So he's like taking in all the details of it too.
Right.
So for men it can be different too with how intensely visual you get stuck on it, because the memory has to kind of stay longer with you. You're kind of like salivating over the visual part of it. Literally, I guess. The visual part of it more. But these differences are very, very interesting, and they come up a lot when it comes to like how we relate and how we connect to one another. So let's say, for example, if you're in a relationship with a man, men like to solve problems by more like hearing what the problem is and trying to come up with a solution. Whereas women sometimes just want to talk their problem out, be able to get like, you know, validation or empathy for their problem. So this shows a lot of differences too, even in the way that we talk or communicate, because women talk a lot. It's not a myth that women talk too much or talk a lot. It's actually true.
There's a flip side to that coin.
Tell me your flip side.
My flip side is that I don't like it when a girl don't communicate. Like I've been in relationships where girls are not really communicative, and I'm all like, well, what's the problem? They'll have a face, and the face says it all, but they won't share the information. And then they'll wait days and days, and you like, you know why I was looking like that? Because da 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 da. I'm the type of person, I like to nip it in the bud as soon as it occurs. I don't like to wait on it.
That's a good point. I also think when women are doing that, a lot of times they're not able to right in the moment tell you what it is. One, because I think women go through more of a thing where he should already know, which is a routine policy, like they don't already know.
Exactly.
And also, I
Thank you
think
very
they're
much.
trying to gain control of their emotions. Because sometimes it's like if they're trying to not just yell and scream or cry, they might like hold off and telling you exactly what it is at that moment.
Okay.
Hoping that you might know, and a lot of times you guys don't know.
Okay.
I think also too, if you think about the way in which we communicate, women ask a lot more questions than men in general. And they do this to like connect or, you know, to try to understand their partner better, try to keep the conversation flowing, you know, that type of thing. Whereas men sometimes might take that as like nagging, interrogation, and then we kind of get accused of that a lot.
Do you think they really care?
I think, yeah, I do think they care, and that's a good point too, because, you know, a lot of times people say men are not sensitive, and I don't think that's true. I actually think men are sensitive, but it just is a different way. I think men care when they have to be, when they have to deal with the conflict of it, when you're like irritated, or if they feel like your woman is always unhappy as you know, if you're in a relationship, when your woman is unhappy, normally the whole house, the energy in the whole house is felt then. So I think it definitely affects them when the woman is not happy.
Oh, okay.
So Taz, tell us a little bit about how people can get information about you. Because I know we're running out of time for the segment. And then if you can give us like a little teaser of what's coming on for next month.
Cool. All right, so you could find me if you're interested in like about the products of the party, the romance and intimacy products of parties. I'm on Facebook at Sister Circles LLC, which is the name of my business. If you want to order or host a party, if you just want to kind of talk to me or send me a question, you can find me on Instagram, Tizzy TIZZYS31 is my screen name on Instagram. And if you're interested in therapy, I'm on the main line, and I'm at a place called Mainline Wellness and Counseling Center, and that is located at 600 Haverford Avenue, and it's mlcwellness.com. So that's www.mlcwellness.com, where you can see information about my therapy background, and you can contact me there as well.
Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed
I
this.
enjoyed this.
Oh, this was awesome.
I can't wait for you to come back.
I can't, man.
My questions will be lined up.
Oh,
I'm
man,
gonna send you
so-
an anonymous email.
Yeah, you really did it.
And if
You
anybody's
need an
listening
award
and they
for
want to
this.
send an email up, a tell Taz email, I'll also put it out there on Instagram, but you can email at dailyron215@gmail.com. You don't have to say your name or anyone else's name. You can remain anonymous, but we'll read the email and she'll dissect it for you a little bit.
I like that.
I like it. I put some
Excellent.
big words out there.
Yes, you did.
You remember when they
Some
were
websters out, please.
What I tell you, I was like, you know I'm a dork, right? You know I'm like using. Like, you know I'm a
Right.
article.
I love it.
I love it. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be back right after the break.